Welcome to the Everyday Leader podcast, where conversations inspire action, growth, and impact. Hosted by two passionate leaders, Shannon and Conrad, this podcast is for those who strive to lead with purpose and integrity in their life. Whether you're navigating big decisions, seeking balance, or dreaming of creating change, we're here to help explore the tools, stories, and insights that help everyday leaders thrive. Join us each episode as we dive into the art of leadership at work, at home, and in the world. Because leadership isn't a title, it's a way of being.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Everyday Leader Podcast. Conrad here with Shannon to continue conversations about leadership and how it is applied every day. And Shannon, question for you that's here for me is, and it's showing up in a lot of different places in my life and with clients. And when I say the word accountability, what's the first thing that comes up for you?
Well, this is the first thing that's coming up for me today in this moment is something that I recently said. And I recently said and have started to say in different ways to people, clients, friends. And that is, if you cannot fire someone, like in a professional setting, we're talking about a professional setting, or at least I am right now. If you cannot fire someone, if you are not prepared as a leader with the skills to legally and skillfully fire someone, you should really rethink hiring someone. That's kind of the extreme. Like, this is like the extreme of accountability, right? The extreme of accountability, whether it's a personal relationship or a professional relationship, is like, if you do not have the skills to say, hey, this isn't working and we need to find a different way of being in relationship, or whether that's personal or professional, then that's a really good place to start when it comes to how to build your like leadership toolkit around the area of accountability.
Yes. What I'm appreciating about the example that you brought, this you said extreme, and it really hones in for me on relationship and my relationship as a leader with accountability in this case. Like, there's layers to this. You're speaking to the layer in a professional setting. Like, how does this, can I fire somebody that is not working or performing at a level that matches with the organization or the impact, or if they've become unskillful? So that's one layer. There's also the layer of accountability within, like an individual layer. Am I accountable to myself? Am I accountable to the words that I say?
Yeah.
Am I accountable to my impact? And then there's the relationship with other, of course, which you're speaking to. And then accountability to a broader, like, to the world. Am I taking care? You and I like to cultivate and garden. So I just think of an example close to our hearts and home is, am I being responsible for my environmental impact? That's an accountability layer too, at a bigger scale.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are these different layers. And I think you really, the piece that I think standing out for me in what you just said is that we often think that accountability is about our relationship with another person. That is a piece of it. But it is even more so like, what is our relationship with accountability? What is our relationship with our beliefs around what happens when we meet expectations or don't meet expectations, or when somebody else meets expectations or does not meet expectations? Like, what is our relationship with taking a stand for what we need, what the relationship needs, what our world needs? That's
beautiful.
What it's all about.
And yes, and you and I are working in an org right now. Of course, we'll remain confidential in the work that we do. And there is this relationship with accountability that is collapsed in that we have discovered and uncovered through this relationship with them. Is collapsed in, I can't be accountable and also love this person or be friendly
Hmm.
with this person. That's kind of
Hmm.
the collapsed belief. And we're naming that because that is a system aspect of an org we're working with right now. And that system can be, as you said, alive within an individual human to say, okay, I have a belief. I can't hold someone accountable or hold myself accountable because that means I can't be friendly to myself.
Yeah.
And that's just not true. It's actually what you got. There's something here.
Yeah. It's like, well, first of all, I just want to name that accountability is something that I've found to be one of the hardest, gnarliest topics for leaders. It is like
Yes.
it's very, very typical, very, very normal for this to be as hard as it is. And I think there are
Mm-hmm.
reasons for that, right? Just because of the way
Yep.
we are as humans. So I want to normalize that. And I think the piece that keeps coming up is that it's like, if that person isn't meeting expectations, then, and I have to hold them accountable, that means that something is bad. That means that they're bad. So if they're bad, then I'm good.
Or I'm bad.
Or
I'm bad for
yes,
holding the yes.
right. And when we set things up like that with that type of nuance, without any nuance, I'm sorry, without any nuance, then that's where we get into trouble, because then it becomes, well, if I think that, if I'm going to hold them accountable because they did something wrong, then I guess that means that I believe that I'm right. If I'm right and they're wrong, then, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's this whole story that evolves, which means I'm right about everything, they're wrong about everything. That, oh, they're not a good person. Oh,
Right.
okay. So it's, as opposed
Well,
to their, yeah, just the, I don't know, help me out here.
well, no, I'm appreciating this because it gets within versus when you say the word hold, I'm holding accountability. Let's just zoom out there. Like I am holding accountability for what? The values of the organization,
Hmm.
for the cultural stand, for a standard, for that's like holding it more broadly.
Hmm.
Right. And if I as a leader can hold that for self, other, and system, that's much different than othering or looking at a person that is not uh, at that level or not adhering to that value, for example. So it's, can I hold accountability and then invite others into that same orientation is just a different way to look at this.
Yes. And even hearing you describe that, what I picture is moving from it being a personal thing
Yes.
to
Yes.
it
Good.
being
Yep.
about, we're holding accountability for what we're in service of.
Yep.
You have a part, I have a part, we have a part, everybody has a part in what we're in service of. And it's this piece that's not working, right?
Good.
It's not you as a
Uh,
person. It's maybe it's a behavior, maybe it's a gap in skill, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And that is missing from what we need. As a result, we're missing what we need.
that
The
feels
what we're in service of is missing what it needs.
right. That feels much more, as you say that, I feel a lightness to it. At the same time, a fierceness to hold together.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not to say that that still isn't hard. It is, because at the end
Correct.
of the day, you still have to look at the person who's responsible for that art, right?
Yes.
And say, and so this is what we're going to do to fix this, or this is what we need to
Or
ask you for. Or this is our request. This is the request, right?
yes. And Shannon, even harder for me sometimes than the people I work with is look in the mirror and hold to account and say, hey, Conrad, this is what needs to shift, what needs to change
Yeah.
as you as a leader. So it is hard. That can be really hard also. can be hard with others, and it can be hard with self. And the key is not to be hard on yourself, is to know that accountability actually creates clarity, and clarity creates kindness. So like accountability is really important within organizations because you don't want squishiness. You want clear kindness.
Yep. Clear is kind. I think Brene Brown said that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I knew some great leaders said that. I appreciate you honoring Brene in that. Yeah.
So where do we go from here, Conrad? How do we land this in a very tangible right now kind of way?
With inquiry is one way. What's your current relationship with accountability?
Yeah.
Is the question. And then look at the 3 layers: accountability with self, others in your community, in your organization, and then world, whatever that means for you. It can have an environmental lens. It can have a social justice lens. It can have a just cause that you're into lens. What is your relationship in each one of those areas would be the first place to get the current state.
Sounds great. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone, and be well.